Hey everyone, I redesigned my first game I created around 2012 from a level-based game to a wave-based and boss battle ending with achievements. Here's how all of it came together. Every game has to start somewhere, and for me that was the menus. I wanted something simple, so I created a basic menu with options for settings, a page about me the developer, and a button for a tutorial later on. Overall, nothing flashy, but gave the project a solid foundation. Next came one of the new systems I'm most excited about, the Hangar. The Hangar allows the helicopter to be affected in several different stats, including the gun count, fire rate, bullet damage, movement speed, and health. Each stat can be improved from level 1 all the way to 6, letting players build helicopters to fit their own playstyle. Now I can actually get started on gameplay, first by getting the player to move around by the stat set in the Hangar. So the heli will move around wherever you press on the screen, nothing complicated. Next came the weapon systems for the heli. So the fire rate and the amount of bullets are the easiest to see here, both stats available to be set in the Hangar. Once the player could fight back, it was time to build something to fight it. I started with basic enemy helicopters that would follow a simple path with rigid movement patterns. After that came planes, which moved differently but a bit more curved movement. No arcade shooter would feel complete without bosses. The first boss was pretty simple for now, just a big tank. It's already bigger than most of the regular enemies, but they will have unique attack patterns and much later difficulties. Of course, with new bosses, you're probably not going to survive every run, so I added a proper game over screen to wrap up each attempt before jumping back in. I also introduced difficulty levels. Higher difficulty levels increase the number of enemies on the screen with each wave, making it much harder to survive without changing the complexity of the game mechanics. However, the player could change the complexity of the enemies, allowing for more unique enemies. Speaking of enemies, here's all the different kinds of enemies I have created. The first of these new enemies were tanks, absorbing more damage than normal enemies. After that were bombers, that explode into several bullets when they reach the end of their path. Indestructible enemies that can't be killed, forcing you to dodge around them. Spawners that will constantly create smaller enemies. Laser enemies that fire a dangerous beam that could easily end your run. Turrets that shoot bullets back towards you. Zoomers that race across the screen. Splitters that break into smaller little enemies. And divers that lock onto the player before settling, changing directions. To give the player something to work towards each run, I added in achievements. Completing an achievement rewards an additional upgrade points, giving players another way to permanently improve their helicopter. Once most of the gameplay systems were working, I started to polish the interface. The original placeholders were replaced with proper artwork for both main menu and the Hangar. It's a small change, but makes the game feel a lot more complete. I then added in power-ups. So during gameplay, you'll be able to find power-ups that temporarily improve your helicopter after killing a certain number of enemies or lasting a certain amount of time. Finally, it was time that I added some flair into the game. So enemies explode into satisfying particles, taking damage shakes the screen, and hits feel more impactful with particle effects. These small details don't change the game, but definitely make the game feel way more alive. With everything combined, I just need to add in a few more bosses to finish the game. Overall, I'm pretty proud about how it turned out. If you'd like to play for yourself, it's available on the App Store, Google Play, and itch.io. You can find all these in the links in the description. If you enjoyed the game, please consider leaving a rating and consider subscribing for more devlogs. I usually post shorts on what I'm currently working on. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.